Roll Tide and welcome to this Thursday edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This is Roger Hoover coming to you not from Alabama, but Greenville, South Carolina, where tonight Alabama women's basketball will start its run in the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament. We have SEC basketball on our minds, certainly after last night's win for the Crimson Tide against Auburn, and men's basketball clinching the SEC regular season championship. A lot of fun things to talk about on the show today. We'll start to go through our headlines that are always presented by our friends at RJ Young. RJ Young is the official technology solutions provider of Crimson Drive. Looking at what's coming up on the show today, first of all, we will take a look back at all the great highlights from last night on the Courtside Cam as Chris Stewart, Brian Passink called all the action of Alabama's thrilling comeback victory against Auburn in overtime. Then we'll hear from the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Nate Oates, following the ball game with Coach's Checklist. Then we'll have a one-on-one conversation with Christy Curry previewing what's ahead for Alabama women's basketball in the SEC tournament. And then one last time, we'll go back to Coleman Coliseum. Before we went off the air last night, we had such a special post-game show. It was really even before our post-game shows started, but on the Courtside Cam, we had interviews with Nate Oates along with Mark Sears, Noah Gurley, Javon Quinterly, Antoine Petway in a must-hear interview, and you hear Chris Stewart and Brian Passink really detail what made this season so special, so I think all of you are going to enjoy that. Speaking of men's basketball, last week, of course, two great comeback victories at Coleman Coliseum, 86-83 over Arkansas on Saturday. And then last night, it took overtime, but we were glad to get to overtime when trailing by double digits midway in the second half. What a remarkable victory. Javon Quinterly leading the way for the Crimson Tide. Brandon Miller got the hard hat as Alabama wins by 5 against Auburn in overtime, clinching the SEC regular season championship and a perfect season at home for Alabama inside Coleman Coliseum, only the third time that's happened in school history. Now the regular season will come to a close for Nate Oates and the Crimson Tide coming up on Saturday at Texas A&M, which will be a tough ball game. A&M right now second in the SEC, but they cannot be the SEC champions. That is only Alabama in the regular season. For the Crimson Tide women's basketball team, we got some great news. First of all, earlier in the week with Brittany Davis being named to the first team All-SEC team, and then Hannah Barber was selected as the SEC Women's Basketball Scholar Athlete of the Year. So some really great honors for them. Now tonight, the run begins here in Greenville for Alabama against Kentucky. The Wildcats won yesterday in impressive fashion against the Florida Gators. Kentucky is the number 14 seed, so the last team seeded in this tournament, yet they made it to the second round with that victory against the Gators. Alabama hoping to have a very long run here in the upstate of South Carolina. If the Crimson Tide win tonight, they would also play in the same time slot coming up tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central, against the Tennessee Lady Volunteers, the number 3 seed, and then on to Saturday and Sunday to the championship game. Over to the Diamond, more wins to talk about for the Crimson Tide. The baseball team picking up a 17-3 win over Jacksonville State on Tuesday, a game that was originally scheduled for Wednesday but was moved up with the threat of severe weather on Wednesday. So a good win there for the Crimson Tide as Alabama is a perfect 9-0 to start the season. Now this weekend, the Crimson Tide hope to keep it rolling against the University of Illinois Chicago. Yes, the Flames are coming to Tuscaloosa. We look forward to a great 3-game series between Alabama and UIC. Then the softball team picked up a 5-0 victory on Wednesday against Southern Miss, and now this weekend home for the Crimson Classic as we're getting closer and closer to the start of SEC play beginning for Alabama softball. But last night, it was the end of the regular season for Alabama at home and a chance to clinch a championship against the Auburn Tigers, our in-state rival. There was a lot on the line. There was a lot of drama. There was a lot of excitement as Chris Stewart and Brian Passink called the game for us on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and so many of you watched on the Courtside Cam, over 8,000 views already as of this morning. So we want to take a look back at the Courtside Cam highlights, immediately followed by Coach's Checklist with the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Nate Oates, looking back at a historic night at Coleman.
Burnett on the far wing. Burnett into the lane. Burnett outside to JQ. All alone. 3. Bottom. Goes off the screen. Throws a lob. The flush from Clowney. 29-23. Bama back to it in 6. And the crowd tries to ignite the team on the floor once again. Driving against Clowney. Went up and a block by Miller. Out of bounds. Touch last by the Tigers. What a play by Brandon Miller. He blocked the dunk attempt from Janai Broom, and Alabama will get it back. Quinterly looking right side Miller. Catch and shoot. 3 ball.
Boy, the quick release of Brandon Miller. High pick and roll, slips it to the three-point line. JQ, no hesitation, finds him. And Brandon Miller lets it fly before the defense can adjust.
Quinterly playing off the screen, goes to Sears, left of the circle. Let's fly for three, bottom, and that is a wonderful start. For 3 1/4, Clowney is good. Bama back-to-back, bank first threes, and the Tides to within 3 again. Quinterly still with the dribble, going to his left. Bounce pass, Bediako, over to Sears. 3 for the tie, bottom. Let's start over. Tied at 42 with 18:20 to play. Quinterly trying to drive, goes down the lane, hands it off. Bediako to flush, beautiful feed. Javon Quinterly needs help. Looks, gives it off. Quinterly all alone, 3. JQ getting going. Another bank first 3. Timeout Auburn with 8:58 to play, and Bama back to within 12. Bradley working left side. Has it, goes downhill. Bounce pass inside, layup good. Clowney, Jake Bradley drew the defense. It's a 10-point game with 8:12 to go, and the crowd's back in it.
Alabama on a 7-0 run in the last minute.
Green the drive, wild layup, no, tipped out, controlled by Bama. Bradley running, Bradley downhill, Bradley handing it off. Sears the layup, yes, and Alabama's to within 8. 7:54 to go, and the Tide 9-0 run in the last 95 seconds.
Getting stops defensively and turning that into offense. Easy basket right there by Sears.
Near steal, but Auburn controls it. Green giving it off to Williams. They throw it down low. Stolen by Quinterly. He throws it off the Tiger. It goes out of bounds, and Alabama will have it when we come back. Listen to the crowd. Down low, they'll feed it, stripped and stolen. Quinterly with a steal, a huge steal from Williams, who is ready to score over a smaller defender. Now it's JQ on the other end, going past him, going to the rack, and scoring! Oh, JQ! Jelly time at Coleman Coliseum. 6:20 to go. Bama to within 5.
That's a 4-point swing, all JQ. What a defensive play, and able to finish at the rim.
Timeout Auburn, and listen to this crowd. Brandon hesitating, stepping back, 3, short, rebound, tip, controlled, Clowney, layup, yes, and Alabama is to within 3. Brandon Miller trying to make this a 1-point game. He does. Wow. To Sears in the corner. Sears cross it over, going baseline, gets to the right, lays it up and in, and it's a 1-point game again. Quinterly on the drive, going downhill, lays it up, got it, and he is fouled. Javon Quinterly, a chance for the and one with 2:30 to go. Knocks down the freebie as well, and Bama answers the 3 from Green with an old school and 1 to make it a 1-point game again. Rebounded Miller, and Bama looks for its first lead of the day, and we got numbers ahead. Clowney lays it up, it wouldn't go, but he'll go to the line, and he'll have 2 shots upcoming. Auburn went up by 17. Bama trying to come all the way back, and they have. Deadlocked again. Quinterly trying to give Bama the lead. And he does. 74-73 our score. And for the first time tonight, good guys on top. Green at 7, at 6, Green at 5, at 4, fall away at 3, no good. Rebounded Bradley at 2, a scramble forward at 1, buzzer sounds, and we did it against South Carolina. Why not here again? Overtime. Alabama and Auburn get a shot of whatever you need, folks, and we'll be back for overtime. Tied at 75, Alabama and Auburn here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Bradley looking for Miller, instead will drive. Gets to the rim, no, hands it off. Clowney the dunk, and Alabama takes the lead. The first trip down the floor in OT. Scramble, Quinterly's got it. Quinterly weaving through traffic, looks left side. Sears, 3, bottom, Bama by 5. wonderful start for Alabama. Pivots, picks it up, hands it off left side. The drive, the reverse, count it, and the foul.
What a play by Jaden Bradley. Took the dribble handoff. Auburn extra aggressive, playing the passing lanes, but Jaden Bradley got the handoff, had momentum going to the basket, reversed it off the glass. English, the spin, the foul, and a huge three-point play coming up for the freshman.
That's a great pickup, partner, because I was blocked off. I couldn't see who scored. He slid all the way to the corner after he made the bucket, and I was blocked off by the Bama fans standing on the front row, and I don't mind it at all. Johnson, boy, missed them both. Hate to see it, don't you? 85-80, Bama ball, up 5 with 2.5 to go. Bradley, 2 huge free throws. First one's perfect. The freshman from Rochester, New York, knocking it down. Came to Bama from IMG Academy, a McDonald's All-American.
Huge.
We got fries with that on that one. Made them both, and it's 87-83 with 48 seconds remaining. Second one for the freshman. Perfect. 88-85. One more stop, Bama, right here. Auburn trying to inbound it. Looking. They do get it into Bourbon. Gives it back to Donaldson. Donaldson kicks it over to Johnson. Johnson trying to shake free. Johnson driving into the lane. Spinning, shooting, knocked away. Bama ball. Trying to run out the clock. Bradley on the drive to the rim. Missed the dunk. Rebounded Miller. And he's going to be fouled with 6.1 to go. And Bama leading by 3. They need one free throw to probably, in all likelihood, reach for the scissors here at Coleman Coliseum.
Maybe not the greatest idea of Jaden Bradley, but understand his excitement, trying to throw it down and end this game. Fortunately, Brandon Miller getting on the offensive glass. Chance to make this a 2-possession game. 6.1 to play, a championship on the line.
Free throw up and good for Brandon Miller. Auburn's played their backsides off. A heck of a game. Led us almost all night. Bama clawed from 17 back in the second half to force OT. And they lead it by 4. Brandon Miller trying to get it to 5 if he can record his 17th point of the night. Only 6 seconds remain.
Just make Auburn use some time. Keep them in front. Turn them. Don't foul. Stop the clock. Let them get points that way.
Free throw upcoming. Free throw perfect, which is what Bama's trying to be in SEC play here at home. Inbounds pass goes to Johnson. He'll run front court at 3, at 2, at 1. He'll let it fly at the buzzer. It's short, and play the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference. And for the rest of the league as well.
Listen, it was a big night tonight for us. I mean, it was an Auburn-Alabama game. We expect it to be a great game. Bruce had his guys ready to go. You know, to be down 17 with just over 10 minutes to go in the game, I couldn't be more proud of our guys. Second SEC championship in 3 years here. And it was especially special tonight to do it in front of our fans. I mean, they were great tonight. I really want to thank our fans for all their support. They brought the energy. I thought it fueled our run there in the second half. We achieved a lot this year. I mean, we swept our in-state rival, which is a big deal around here. We went undefeated at home. It's not easy to do. Like I said, we won the SEC regular season. So we still got things we want to accomplish ahead of us. You know, the guys have worked hard. I'm super proud of them. These fans have been great since we've got here. I was really happy we were able to win this thing outright, do the celebration in Coleman. I mean, winning it 2 years ago was great, but you're on the road in a COVID environment at Mississippi State. Tonight was special, and we talked about it before the game. The under 8 timeout, we need to play a little harder. I said we're not losing this game because we didn't play hard enough to win it, and our guys came out and played harder. So it was special to do it here at Coleman. I can't be more proud of JQ. I mean, I told him, I told the team, we're getting the March version of JQ. He's definitely the X factor. He's played great for us, particularly in the second half, the last 2 games. I mean, he's obviously really talented. I mean, you look at his line tonight, you know, he ends up with 24 points, 6 assists, not 1 turnover, led the team in plus minus at plus 16, really getting locked in on the defensive end. He knows how to win, and he's making a lot of winning plays on both sides of the ball for us.
Crimson Drive is driven by NASCAR, and there's nothing quite like Sweet Home Talladega. Don't miss out on NASCAR's much-anticipated return to Talladega Superspeedway on April 23rd. Experience the excitement of 4-wide racing and acres of some of the best camping NASCAR has to offer. Join the best party in sports and lock in your tickets today at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. A lot of reasons to smile for head coach Nate Oates. Congratulations again to Alabama on winning the SEC regular season championship, and we wish the Crimson Tide the best of luck coming up this Saturday against Texas A&M. Christy Curry, it's already the start of a new season for her as we move to postseason play for Alabama women's basketball. Regular season didn't end like the Crimson Tide wanted, with 3 losses in a row to Mississippi State, Florida, and then last time out against Ole Miss. But Alabama's been able to hit the reset button and now hoping for a long run here in Greenville, South Carolina. Here's our one-on-one conversation with Christy Curry as we preview the SEC tournament. Roll Tide, Coach Curry. First of all, it is just great to see you, as I know this exciting part of the season begins for you. It's the start of a new season with what's ahead this week in Greenville. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, Roger. It definitely is. You know, it's a brand new season. Season 1 we were successful. Season 2, and now into season 3, you're going to see a lot of fun memories be made here in a few short days. So it's a great opportunity for our team, and we're excited to be in Greenville, a beautiful downtown area, and excited for a really busy day today.
Well, we're excited to see the Crimson Tide return to the hardwood. And at this time of the year, we also get some good news in terms of some individual awards. First of all, Brittany Davis, first team All-SEC. Hannah Barber named the SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year. I know you're proud of them for so many reasons this season, but great to see that recognition earlier this week.
It really is. You know, Brittany's had a fantastic year and led us in scoring, and had some really big games for us. And it's good to see her rewarded for her hard work. But I know Britt always feels like, too, it's a team thing. You know, she wouldn't have been able to accomplish that without a great supporting cast. And, you know, Hannah to be chosen out of the entire SEC as the overall Scholar Athlete of the Year is so deserving. I mean, she is the epitome of what you should be as a college athlete in the classroom, and going to leave with 2 degrees. And I'm excited she's going to go into coaching. So, she's just a phenomenal young lady, and we're so proud for Hannah and Britt. And I know they want to finish their careers in a really special way, and it starts with another opportunity this week, and like we mentioned with the tourney.
We got to honor them after the last game against Ole Miss, as well as Jada Rice, Megan Abrams for their contributions. And you've talked about it before, but this senior class really is remarkable, not just with all the accomplishments they've had on the hardwood, because that's up there with the best classes in Alabama basketball history, but in the classroom as well. These young ladies have had a great impact on the University of Alabama.
Oh, they really have. It's just not the norm to see all 4 leave with 2 degrees. And it's been fun to coach them, but it's also been fun to watch them in the classroom, how important that was and how much they embrace the opportunity. And, you know, we're a staff that believes in a 50-year plan. It's not a 4-year plan. And are we doing every single thing every day to put them in the right position in the classroom? We're not just taking the minimal hours. You know, we're not just getting by, but we've got a group of players that don't want that either. And I think when you combine their energy and their effort and their passion, you look at Meg, and she's had an internship with Nike and Nissan. You look at Jada, who's in it currently and has been in an internship with a local lawyer. It's just all the camps and clinics and the things that Hannah does. She's going to be a part of the WBCA, so you want to be a coach program coming up at the Final Four. And it's amazing to watch all four leave here with 2 degrees. I can't wait to watch to see what the future holds for them away from basketball at some point when they're done playing.
Yeah, we're definitely excited for that. And fans got an opportunity earlier this week as well on the SEC Network with the SEC Inside program, taking an in-depth look at your basketball program, showing a lot of the practice footage, getting ready for the Auburn game. Was that fun to see? Was it fun to share that with the fans? A little bit of the film session too. You guys have a lot of fun, it seems like, around a very serious work in practice.
Yeah, we do. It was really neat. They spent about 72 hours with us all weekend with us, so we felt like they were part of the family by the time they left. But it was a lot of fun having them in town. They saw a lot of different aspects. There's so many really so much more cool footage, that they couldn't fit in that 30 minutes. But yeah, we feel like, it's at the end of the day, we're going to coach, we're going to teach, and our players really do a good job. But we also want to add that element that we really care and we really love them. We really want to have fun with them. So I think that was a pretty good sense that, the grit, love, and gratitude and the family atmosphere that we have at Alabama.
Definitely can see that. Now we're gearing up for the SEC tournament. The regular season came to a close with 3 losses for Alabama. Just in reviewing some of the game film and seeing what went right, what didn't go right at times, what were your takeaways from the last 3 games?
We talked a lot about its decision making, and I thought that we've had too many little things that we haven't executed that led to turnovers. We also had some situations on the defensive end, which in the same choice is a decision to make sure that we understand the little things we need to do based off knowing our personnel and tendencies. In our league, it's a very small margin for error, and it comes down to mistakes, and those are turnovers, those are offensive rebounds, and points in the paint. We've got to do a much better job of really understanding and valuing those 3 areas. And we had done that, but we played 3 teams too, anytime in the SEC. So I think, have we looked a little tired? Maybe so. So I've tried to really manage that and try to do every single thing that we could the past couple of days to put us in a position. Headed into Greenville, we got beat by an Ole Miss team that, we got them at Ole Miss and they got us at home. And, we tied for 5th in the league, but, it was the 6th seed. At the end of the day, I love the opportunity that our bracket presents to us. I think things always work out the way that they're supposed to. And we talked a lot the past 2 days. Our word for the week is new. We have to let go of the old and focus on the new. And it's a new opportunity, and we're so excited to see what this team can do this weekend in Greenville.
And your teams at Alabama have had success before in the SEC tournament, having a long run, having a long stay, and playing as many as 3 games in a row. And this trip, you hope to play 4 games in a row until Sunday in the championship game. Just what's the key to tournament basketball, especially when you're playing like this day after day?
I think, I've had some experiences through the years. We've had success and not, and I think it's just the importance of understanding being where your feet are at that moment. And the kids have done a really good job with their prep. We obviously are going to go over and watch a little bit of the game that we will be playing the winner of. So there's a plan in place, and we're trying to go out and execute it, and hopefully our players will respond. I think it's the time of year where, your best players and your core group and your bench, it's going to take everybody. And it's not just going to be any magic button you hit. It's more about hitting the reset button, whether you finished the season the way you want or didn't. Again, just focusing on the new and the new opportunity ahead.
Well, Coach Curry, we're excited to get to Greenville and start this journey on Thursday night against either Kentucky or Florida. Just thank you so much for your time as you prepare for the SEC tournament, and look forward to seeing you this week. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Thank you, Roger. See you when you get here.
Thanks, Coach Curry. And again, we can't wait to get started tonight for Alabama against Kentucky on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Our radio coverage will start at 6:55 across the network for Alabama's first game in the tournament. Once again, we want to go back to our Courtside Cam that, again, so many of you watched last night, and especially once the ball game was over, it was really special what we were able to do on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We thank Alabama for allowing us to talk to some players after the ball game was over, as well as assistant coach Antoine Petway. Nate Oates talks with Chris Stewart. It was really special the way we were able to capture all the celebration as Alabama won the SEC championship, got to celebrate on the floor, cut down the nets at Coleman Coliseum for a second time in 3 years. And we just wanted to let you recapture that in case you missed it last night. Maybe you were at Coleman Coliseum. It was really special what happened as soon as the ball game was over here on the network. So we go back to the Courtside Cam and we take a look back at a great celebration for the SEC champions, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
16-1. You could suit up me and Stipe on Saturday in College Station. It wouldn't matter. Alabama would still be undisputed and untied SEC champions. It's Bama's crown. 26-4, 16-1 in the league with one more in conference play to go. We'll try to gig them down there, but we got them tonight in Tuscaloosa.
And what a beautiful sight as they pass out the championship t-shirts and hats. And if you're in Coleman Coliseum, don't go anywhere. They're breaking out the scissors, about to celebrate this outright SEC championship. The second time in 3 years. This time you get to cut them down at home, win it outright over the Auburn Tigers. A great night for Alabama, coming back from 17 down. And Alabama, the outright SEC champions once again.
Isn't it amazing? So much conversation in college sports about NIL. And those guys are smiling uncontrollably because they've been handed a t-shirt that says you're SEC champions. What an effort.
Incredible. Did not think we would be here when you're down 17 and your opponent's rolling. Didn't seem to be Alabama's night, but we talked about this team with the pace of play. If they could put stops together, you've got the offensive firepower. You know that. This team's capable of getting stops, one of the best defensive teams in the country, but Auburn, they were on fire. They were knocking down threes, made twice as many threes as they normally do. But Alabama able to battle and fight and dig down and show toughness and grit and get the win. And what a night for the Crimson Tide.
Alabama basketball.
I'm not sure anybody's leaving.
Championship signs, championship hats. Love to see the smiles on all these players' faces as they have had an incredible year. And what a night to do it against your arch rival.
Unbelievable emotion for so much that has transpired. But a historically great Alabama basketball team. It doesn't matter what happens Saturday. It doesn't matter what happens in Nashville or at any of the NCAA regional sites or anything beyond that, Brian Passing. This is a historically great Alabama basketball team. Things that they still want to accomplish, but this is a championship team that has perhaps been unlike any other that we've ever seen at the University of Alabama, and many have said maybe ever in the SEC.
Well, the rest of the way will determine where this team ranks all time, but this is the first step. Winning the SEC regular season, that's goal number one. Now you go to Nashville. You got a chance to do what this team did, or this program did a couple of years ago, winning the regular season, going to Nashville and win the tournament. Then it's on to the NCAA tournament, but where they are right now, they're in the conversation for history. Alabama is a program before this team had only won 9 regular season SEC titles all time. This group now 2 out of the last 3. That is not easy to do in one of the best basketball leagues in America, and Alabama, one of the best programs in college basketball right now.
With everything these kids have been through, to be able to smile, to be able to celebrate, to be able to enjoy at an unbelievable level an SEC title.
And the students telling Bruce Pearl, have a nice night, showing in some brooms as Alabama has swept the Auburn Tigers. Yeah, by the way, you do this, win the SEC title outright, and a little detail, you swept the Auburn Tigers.
Way down the list of importance, but kind of cool nonetheless. Roger Hoover with Mark Sears.
Mark Sears, you return home to the state of Alabama. You beat Auburn. You're an SEC champion. What does it mean to you? I mean, it's unbelievable right now, you know, being from Alabama. I used to dream of things like this, especially being an Alabama kid, home state, champs. But we're not done yet, so it feels good.
What was the message from Coach Oates at halftime? How'd you guys get this done in the second half to force overtime?
Defense. We came out strong in defense. You know, we started the first half with 2 big-time shots, and then we just anchored down on defense, and the defense won us the game.
What's next for this team?
SEC tournament. I mean, no, next game. Yeah, next game. We got A&M. We're going to celebrate this for 24 hours, then we got A&M.
Congratulations, Mark. Roll Tide.
Thank you.
Great job, Roger. Thank you so much.
And Chris, let's just appreciate this moment that we didn't get 2 years ago.
No
Alabama
doubt.
won it on the road in Starkville during a COVID year. Couldn't really celebrate like this. And these fans are absolutely enjoying it. And Alabama fans at Coleman Coliseum have been so good all year long. These players and coaches deserve it. These fans deserve it. They have been with this team and this program for a long time. And it is great to see this team taking a championship picture right now with their T-shirts on. And not many people have left Coleman Coliseum.
Nor should they. Nor should they. Out there celebrating an amazing accomplishment. Athletic Director Greg Byrne visiting with a member of the Board of Trustees, I believe, and Ron Gray. Out there receiving congratulations from him. Great to have Shane Lyons back as Senior Associate AD as well, and glad Shane's getting to celebrate back at Alabama after being gone for 8 years, and so many other people. Can't name everybody, impossible, but what an accomplishment for this team, for this program. SEC title number 16 overall, counting the tournament crowns.
Listen, this is a proud Alabama basketball program, second winningest SEC program behind Kentucky. But there's been some tough years and tough periods before Nate Oates got here. And boy, he has brought excitement, fun style of play. He's got the attention of college basketball with the winning and the style. And boy, it is great to win yet another championship under Nate Oates, and love to see the scissors get broken out and a chance to cut down the nets.
Special to say the least. Still hoping to get Coach Oates, and I think Noah Gurley is with Roger Hoover. Roger?
Noah Gurley, you're an SEC champion. What does it mean to you?
It means a ton, man. You know, just the work we put in since June, just the way we want it, never giving up. You know, it just showed what this team about, what this family is. You know, I mean, it's an unexplainable feeling right now. I can't lie, but I'm happy. I can't say much more. So,
what can you say about the fight in this team to come together and down a lot in the second half? But what was the message you were really trying to keep your teammates positive? It seemed like in the huddle.
just to do what we do, play how we play. You know, we know defense turn into offense, so we can't play passive on offense. Keep shooting with confidence. So we had a big second half in overtime, but just to do what we do, that's all I kept telling them. We've been in this situation before, and we came out with the dub, so it was wonderful to get it done today.
Go cut down the nets. Roll Tide, Noah.
All right, roll Tide. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Noah Clowney. And thank you, Nate Oates. We really appreciate you leaving Buffalo, New York, and coming to Tuscaloosa, Alabama 4 years ago to take Alabama back to where this program expects to be, wants to be. Second SEC title in your 4 years, your second in the last 3. Unbelievable accomplishment, Coach.
Yeah, I'm just really proud of our guys and the achievements they've had this year. It's definitely not easy to win the SEC regular season. It's over the course of 18 games. You know, we went undefeated at home. It's hard. I mean, A&M was right on our tail the whole year, it seemed. So we couldn't afford many slip-ups. You know, I mean, different guys step up. I mean, I think, you know, I'm looking at Jaden Bradley. You know, he only played 9 minutes the first half and didn't get in until probably 8 minutes into the second half. He ends up playing 22 minutes, and, you know, we end up +4 with him in the game, and he did a great job defensively. He stepped stepped up to the free throw line and made some free throws. So, I mean, it was a big deal. He, a lot of guys. JQ was great. I mean, JQ came to me. JQ came to me. He got you another one, a second one. I mean, he's been, he's been great. I mean, we get the March version of JQ. So, I'm just can't say enough about our guys.
Coach, I'm going to try to get you a box score here and see if we can get this, let you look over some of it. I just want to talk, if you could, about the part of the game where you're down 17 and nothing's going your way.
Is that what it was? I didn't know what 17 with how much time to go.
I'm not sure of the time, but it sure didn't feel like there was enough. Maybe 10 minutes, 12 minutes.
It was 66-49. It doesn't give a time here. But, look, I'll say this. Our guys never quit. I mean, they just show a lot of resilience, a lot of grit. There was down 17 with 10:40 left in the game. So, we closed the game well. And, we put the three guards in. JQ, Sears, Jaden Bradley, they all made big plays offensively, defensively. Jaden had some tough finishes in there. He went 4 or 5 at the free throw line. He didn't necessarily shoot it great tonight, but he made some big plays. And so, everybody that played contributed, and to be able to do it, without some guys that are used to playing heavy minutes, able to play heavy minutes tonight, just proud of the achievement our guys had.
Remember your ring size?
We got it up there somewhere.
Go celebrate with you.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations. So
Thanks,
happy
guys.
for you.
Appreciate it.
Coach Nate Oates.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide indeed. Alabama, Southeastern Conference champions, as Roger Hoover has got the guy that I think was the MVP, Javon Quinterly. Go ahead, Roger.
Well, we're live with Javon Quinterly on the floor. Congratulations, you're an SEC champion once again. What did it mean to you to get it done tonight against Auburn?
No, it means everything. When these young guys came in here, they said they wanted to win. I would walk around the locker room with mine, just to try to motivate the young guys. So, we spoke it into existence most definitely, and it feels great.
Looking back at your play tonight, what are you most proud of?
Just the resilience and just staying confident in myself.
Absolutely. And for you, you're an SEC champion once again. You got to do this a couple years ago. What does it mean to you to do this now?
Oh, no, this is a lot. Just having a crowd to be here and be present, it's a different feeling, and it's special. So I'm not saying that 2021 group wasn't special, but, this feels really good.
After you beat LSU in the SEC tournament 2 years ago, you said the job's not done yet and not finished. I imagine you feel the same about this group.
I definitely feel the same about this group. It's March now, and, it's time to really bring it every game.
How much has Alabama meant to you?
It's meant a lot, man. This is my second home, and, I'm always come back here even when I leave, and, I love this place.
You're an SEC champion again. Congratulations, JQ. Roll Tide.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, JQ, because without you, we're not enjoying this anywhere near at the level we are right now. Roger Hoover will maybe grab another player or two before he comes over and takes over the headset. But while we got an opportunity, why don't we pause 10 seconds for station identification. It's the home of the SEC men's basketball champions, Crimson Tide Sports Network. Watching more players cut down nets on either side. Staff members there, Brandon Miller getting a huge round of applause from the crowd that is still here. And man, it's a sellout, right around 14,000. I don't know how many we wound up with. Here's the funny thing, Charles Bediako does actually need the ladder, but only about 2 steps on it in order to cut a piece of the net off. And not only is this special to see, but hopefully it's just practice, Brian, because there's going to be other opportunities for nets to be cut down by somebody. May as well be us.
In the words of Javon Quinterly a couple years ago, we're not done yet. And he wasn't done with championships, and hopefully this season is far from over. And so happy for this team, but Javon specifically, coming off a knee injury, the frustration of not being himself early on in the season, but having his moments, but thought he had maybe his best game of the season against Arkansas on Saturday. Followed it up with his SEC high here tonight, and he was dominant in the second half. He was dominant in the second half against Arkansas. And with Brandon Miller, who I think is the best player in college basketball, Javon Quinterly was the best point guard in college basketball a couple years ago during the SEC and NCAA tournament. That's scary for opponents because Auburn had Alabama beat. They were doing everything you have to do to upset a team. They were shooting 80% from the three-point line. They couldn't miss. But this Alabama team showed so much toughness in getting stops, not giving up, and battling back in this game and ultimately ripping out the Tigers' hearts and winning the SEC outright title.
Special indeed. Noah Gurley getting a chance to cut down a piece of the net. Tom Stipe, you've seen, dare I say, every one of these that's happened, not always professionally, but you've seen every Bama title since C.M. Newton arrived in what we call the modern era.
I have, and the thing that strikes me here, Chris, 2 years ago, we were doing this in an empty building.
Yeah.
So many years we have played games with fewer people than are in the stands right now. Yeah. What a wonderful thing that this championship team gets to share it with these championship fans. We didn't get to do that 2 years ago. I'm so happy that they get to hear that ovation right now. And
here's the other ovation for a guy who's familiar with cutting down nets here, Antoine Petway, assistant coach. He's done it 3 times now in his life as a player and twice as an assistant coach.
As you talked about earlier, the last time Alabama clinched it in this building, it was an Antoine Petway layup against the Florida Gators. And now as an assistant coach, a big, big part of this Alabama program for decades now. Great to see Antoine cutting down the nets once again.
Coach Oates sent his girls up there to cut down the nets. It's indeed a family affair. So great to see.
And when you're the head coach, you get to approve that.
You do indeed. You do indeed. But I think the head man's coming up now, and listen to this reaction.
One more daughter.
Oh, that's right. Coach Oates there with his youngest daughter, about to cut down the last strand off the net, and Coach has got it. Amazing. So too Antoine Petway, who's with Roger Hoover.
Coach Petway, what does it mean to you once again to cut down the nets in this building?
Man, it means everything. To do it in front of our fans who stuck by us all year, man, God is so good. God is so good. I love that the boys got the experience in Coleman Coliseum in front of the greatest fans in the country.
You and Coach Hodgson, Coach Oates, Coach Henry all talked about energy early in the second half. How'd your guys deliver the message that you sent?
Well, Auburn came in with a lot of energy. We knew they were going to come in because they're playing, for their NCAA tournament hopes and everything. So we knew they was going to bring it. We wanted our boys to bring it, match their energy and surpass. And I think in the second half they did it. We found ways to win all year. We didn't make shots early in the first half, but I knew the shots was going to fall because our guys put a tremendous amount of work in every single day. So kudos to our guys and the coaching staff, man, did a great job of pairing them. But we want our guys playing with confidence all the time because they work hard.
I imagine that piece of the net's going to go right next to the one you won as a player, right?
No doubt. Next to the one we won 2 years ago. So we on the road, man. Coach Oates is doing a great job. Coach Charlie, Coach B, like everybody, man. We're a family, and these guys believe in what we tell them, and they believe in each other. So we're going to keep going.
You're Alabama basketball royalty. Thank you for joining us. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide indeed, as Alabama has won SEC title, number 9 for the regular season, 16th overall, counting what's been done in SEC tournament play. And once again, Brian, getting to cut down the nets in front of the home folks. What a special, special opportunity. Second time in 3 years, Nate Oates able to win an SEC crown.
Well, it's always special, and this one feels even more so because of a couple years ago, you were an empty building, essentially. You won it on the road. We weren't even there. We started traveling in the SEC and NCAA tournament. So you come back, and Alabama cut down the nets when they got back, but they didn't clinch it that night. They clinched it the week earlier. But to do it in this fashion, down 17 on a night that it was just going the way of the Auburn Tigers, to their credit, they were shooting 80% from three. There was a point they were 9 for 11 from three. I've watched Auburn all year long. They didn't go 9 for 11 in warm-ups with nobody in the gym, with nobody guarding them. But they did here, to their credit. They had a lot on the line. They're trying to get in the NCAA tournament. They're very much on the NCAA tournament bubble. So they played like it. Alabama showed toughness of a championship team to be able to weather the storm of a smoking hot opponent and get stops, get going. Javon Quinterly playing his best basketball in a long time, and that is scary for opponents. Great news for Alabama, and what a night to sweep Auburn, to come back from 17 down, go to overtime, and win the outright Southeastern Conference regular season. Unbelievable night.
Speaking of smoking hot, my wife's here, and I'm going to go hug her. I'm leaving the postgame for you and Roger and Tom. Roll Tide, everybody. Congratulations to your SEC champions, 90-85. The Tide is a winner. They'll wrap up the regular season this weekend in College Station, Texas.
We're going to remember that celebration for the rest of our lives. It was so special at Coleman Coliseum, and we especially thank Ethan Carabin for putting together that championship celebration on the Courtside Cam. It was really special to get to capture that live last night at Coleman Coliseum. And again, those are memories that are going to stick with us forever. This weekend, we hope to make some new memories. It's time to take a look at what's coming up on the Wickles Weekend Update, brought to you by Wickles Pickles, the most delicious pickles you will ever find. Find out more at WicklesPickles.com. Let's see what's coming up on the Crimson Tide Sports Network this weekend. Well, first of all, it's Alabama women's basketball tonight in Greenville against Kentucky in the SEC tournament. Our coverage will start at 6:55 across the network for that 7 p.m. tip-off. And then tomorrow, baseball back in action against UIC. You have softball against Robert Morris and Longwood starting play in the Crimson Classic with 2 games, and we look forward to that coming up with, I believe, a softball booth cam coming up on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Then on Saturday, very busy as well. It's an early start in College Station for Alabama against Texas A&M. We'll hit the radio at 10 a.m. coming up that day. Softball, of course, against Robert Morris and Longwood, and then baseball at 2 o'clock against UIC. Then on Sunday, everything will come to a close. An earlier start for baseball at noon against the Flames, and then softball will take on a very good Mercer team at 1 p.m., and that'll round out the weekend. And, of course, women's basketball, we put the game on Thursday, but if successful, games would be played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the championship game for Alabama. So just come right back here to the Crimson Tide Sports Network for more information on the Tide women's basketball team. And then Monday night, we'll talk about it with head coach Nate Oates, looking back at a great championship for the Crimson Tide in the regular season, but we'll preview what's coming up in Nashville at the SEC tournament in men's basketball with Coach Oates coming up on Monday night. Crimson Drive is driven by NASCAR, and there's nothing quite like Sweet Home Talladega. Don't miss out on NASCAR's much-anticipated return to Talladega Superspeedway on April 23rd. Experience the excitement of four-wide racing and acres of some of the best camping NASCAR has to offer. Join the best party in sports and lock in your tickets today at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Well, that is going to wrap up this edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Special thank you to Christy Curry for joining us earlier in the week to give us a great preview of what's starting here in Greenville tonight for Alabama against Kentucky. And then thanks as well to Ethan Carabin, our video producer, for not only producing last night's live Courtside Cam, where we get all this great content that we've had today on Crimson Drive, but putting this show together as well, especially while I'm in South Carolina and he's back home in Alabama. So a really great show put together by Ethan, and we just certainly thank all of you for watching. It's a special time for Crimson Tide Athletics again. There's so many great moments from last night's celebration. We were glad that we were able to capture that for you on the radio, and hope you continue to enjoy what's ahead for the Alabama Crimson Tide. For everyone with the Crimson Tide Sports Network, this is Roger Hoover from Greenville, South Carolina, signing off. Roll Tide. Let's have a great weekend, everyone.